This is the exact time your diet falls apart. Hey team, and welcome to this week's episode of The Inspired Show, the show that's dedicated to helping you become the best version of yourself, mentally as well as physically. We've got a great episode for you this week, especially for those that are struggling in the evenings with snacking, blowouts, and splurges. But before we get into that, if you've not done this already, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It means you stay updated with every single episode we drop every single week. Smash a like on this video if you find it helpful. Let me know any big takeaways and what you need to work on and take action from. And don't forget to share it with somebody who may benefit as well. So this week's episode is all about the evenings. This is one of the most common bottlenecks for so many people when it comes to getting into shape, dropping weight, and ultimately becoming that best version of themselves. We're going to go through why you do well all day, and then it unravels. We're going to go through how you can overcome that with clear action points, but most importantly, we're going to give you the tools and habits and behaviors to make this a long-term success rather than a quick fix. But most importantly, we're going to do it in a way that doesn't create guilt or restriction, because if you're not feeling guilty or it's restrictive, then guess what? You ain't going to stick to it long term. So let's start off with why this is happening first and foremost. Now, ultimately for a lot of people, the reason why they're overeating, overindulging is a combination of hunger, high levels of stress, emotions, and restriction. So how do we overcome this? Well, we need to identify the areas of the day and the week where we start to falter and fail and start putting things in place before the buildup of hunger, higher appetite and stress gets so much that you end up giving up in the evenings. So first of all, are we eating enough food? The thing I hear every single time of people that are struggling in the evenings is, I do really well in the day and they ruin it all in the night. Now what this actually translates to is, I'm starving myself in the day, cutting out the foods I love, and I'm absolutely ravenous in the evening and I raid everything in sight. So starving yourself and being restrictive is not good. It's probably one of the worst things you can do if you're trying to get into shape. Our bodies are pretty amazing things. Our body is really clever. Guess what happens if you undereat, underfuel, and you become restrictive? It's going to increase hunger and appetite hormones, which means you're going to be craving more food. And I don't know about you, but once I get past a certain amount of hunger, I ain't craving a piece of broccoli or a chicken or something super healthy. I'm craving the takeaways, the crisps, the chocolates. And you've been there yourself where you end up buckling under the hunger, under the pressure, and then just eating everything in sight, leaving you feeling sluggish, bloated, guilty, and ashamed of your actions, which then leads you back into the next day where you either go, F it, I've already ruined it, and carry on overindulging for the next couple of weeks, or the opposite where you go, right, I need to get back on it, and you start starving yourself while masking that as being good. So the first point I call is make sure you're nourishing your body in the day. Making sure you're having a substantial breakfast, a substantial lunch, and you're having a hearty evening meal. We want to focus at least 80% of the food we're consuming as nourishing foods. Now don't get me wrong, we can add in some cheeky foods in 20% of the time, but high protein, high fiber, nutrient-dense carbohydrates, some healthy fats, foods that are going to make us feel good, they're going to keep us satisfied and keep us fuller for longer. That is the first part of the puzzle. If you do not do that, you're going to fight an uphill battle and you're going to face the same issues again and again and again. And we need to be consistent with that on a weekly basis as well. Now, another thing to mention is we need to make sure that these foods are enjoyable. It's not about eating rabbit food at every single meal. So think about all your favorite meals and ask yourself, how can you make them more nutrient dense? So some of the things we do inside our coaching program is we look at the meals that our clients enjoy. Pizzas, burger and chips, curries, lasagnas, and we ask ourselves, how can we make these more calorie friendly, but also more voluminous, higher in protein, higher in fiber? Let's take pizza and chips, for example. So instead of blowing your calories on a takeaway pizza from the kebabs or a Domino's, buy one of those flatbread pizzas from Aldi, Lidl, or wherever you shop. They're about 400 calories. You can't go wrong for that. Or make your own, get the kids involved. Pizza bread, tomato puree, some protein on top with a bit of chicken, bit of ham, whatever you like to use. Add in some onions and peppers, a little bit of half fat mozzarella. There you go. Homemade potato chip fries. Chop up the potato, fry light, salt and pepper, put it in the air fryer. You've got a nutrient-dense meal there, which is a normal meal. not your rabbit food. So make sure you are making it enjoyable, otherwise you're never going to stick to it. Now, once you've solved that issue, we then need to look at the triggers in the evening that are causing you to overeat. 9 times out of 10, once we're fueled, if we're still craving high sugar, high fat foods, it's not so much about the food, but it's about a trigger. And these triggers normally happen in the day. Reason being is you've had built up tension, built up tiredness, built up stress, and decision fatigue starts to kick in. You've got so many things going on, being a parent, going to work, being a good partner, doing things socially, that you're just mentally frazzled at the end of the day, and the food becomes comfort for you. It's like a quick dopamine hit. So we're using it as a cope mechanism. So we need to be very, very aware of these things that are happening. So a really good way to combat this is to have a wind down routine. Having a wind down routine allows you to decompress, de-stress, and allow yourself to align before you start reaching for the food or the alcohol in the evenings. So this could be anything. It could be maybe spending a little bit of time with your loved ones without any technology. So your kids or your partner having a nice conversation, playing with the kids. It could be that you do some sort of self-care routine, some lotions and potions, going for a nice shower, a nice warm bath. Maybe it's going for an evening walk with some friends. Make this relevant to you and making sure that it fits into your life and doesn't complicate your life, but adds to it in terms of reducing things. And then the last thing I'd like to add, because I don't know about you guys, but I do enjoy a bit of a sweet treat at the end of the day. So have a sweet treat that fits within your daily calories, but also has a bit of indulgence as well. So look at food pairing. One great example is taking a high protein yogurt, skyr, Greek yogurt, whatever it may be, and then getting your favorite chocolate, measure it out, and then portioning it into the yogurt. Add a bit of honey, give it a good mix, and you've got a really high protein, voluminous, tasty evening sweet treat. But this could be anything. There's so many different recipes online that you can look to have this sweet treat that allows you to have that little bit of a sweetness before going to bed as well. So just to recap, if you're struggling in the evenings, it all starts off with a day. Make sure you're not under eating and being too restrictive. Secondly, at the end of the day, have some sort of wind down routine that allows you to decompress, de-stress, and decompact. That will allow you to minimize stress and reduce the urge for using food waste to deal with what's going on. And then thirdly, implement a sweet treat at the back end of the day to give yourself something to look forward to that fits within your calories, that doesn't feel like it's restrictive as well, and making it enjoyable. So let me know if you found today's episode helpful. Don't forget to smash a like on it as well. If you're not done so already, make sure you hit that follow button so you get updated with every single episode every single week. If you've got any questions, please feel free to reach out to me on any of my social media channels. And don't forget to download our free starter plan, which is linked down below as well.